Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, January 28th, roughly 10:30 in the morning. This next video on the YouTube Turf Talks page is a very sensitive subject here at the club. I understand that there are a lot of people on both sides of the fence on this, and the topic came up again in the board meeting last week with regards to trying to improve communication to the entire membership on why and where we are looking to remove selective trees to the golf course. Right now I am down here on number 1 green, and as you can see, number 1, and this isn't new to anybody, I know everybody already knows this, but we have certain holes out here on the golf course where the green gets very little to no sun this time of year throughout the entire day. 1, 17, 18, 8. There's a few other ones out there as well, but this obviously is an issue with regards to trying to promote healthy turf, good playing conditions throughout the wintertime. The wintertime, grass is not growing at all due to temperature, due to lack of sun, and just being the time of year where grass shuts down a little bit. We're not mowing nearly as much, we're not rolling nearly as much, and obviously with the rain and frost and frozen conditions, Mother Nature more or less controls what we're able to do to the golf course compared to summertime, where we have a little more predictable weather, and then I can be able to control and predict what we're able to do on a daily basis. With regards to frozen and frosty temps, you know as well as I do, and everybody else knows too, that number 1, more times than not during frost delays, will be on a temp green. This is strictly done because, as you can see, again, we have 4 or 5 trees that are behind number 5. These trees do not come into play at all on the golf course. They do not frame any shot. If anything, they impact the tee shot on number 2 from the white and blue tee in a negative way, because you're forced to have to hit a certain kind of shot to be able to get off 2T. One thing I want to make very clear is we are not removing trees that are going to change the playability of the golf course. We are not going to remove any trees that are going to change the characteristic of the golf course in any way. We are doing this strictly to help out turf conditions, which in certain areas of the golf course do suffer, especially again this time of year. And we're trying to do this also aesthetically, to open up some sight lines, show off the golf course a little bit more. Perfect example, behind number 9 green. We're looking at removing majority of those trees, keeping 1 or 2 on the very far right side to break up 7 and 9. But this way, what that will do is that will open up 2.5 to 3 hours of sunlight on average throughout the entire year to the back of that green. It will also open up some views, some sight lines from the Pro Shop clubhouse putting green, where you can see all the way up 7. You can see all the way up to 6 green, and vice versa. You can sit on 7 tee box and you can look all the way back at the club and see who's on the putting green, and it just declutters the golf course in certain areas. This area again here, these 5 trees, 6 trees behind number 5 green, if these trees were not here, you can see just by the shadows that are here, if you remove these shadows, this green is in sun all day long. This green will not, depending on temperature, obviously you're going to get low enough of a temperature to where regardless of what kind of sun you have, you're going to have frost or frozen ground. But generally for this part of the country, we don't get into frozen ground a whole hell of a lot. But with regards to frost delays, if these trees were gone, number 1 green is open for play, and it's not on a temp green. So these 4, 5, 6 trees back here behind number 5 green are on the chopping block, and we are looking into resources right now as far as the cost and the availability of trying to get a company in to help cut these down, so we're not doing it ourselves and running the risk of dropping the tree on 5 or 1 green. So this is what we're trying to do with the golf course. Again, we're not trying to change the golf course in a negative way. We're trying to declutter the golf course with trees that have absolutely no beneficial impact or positive impact on the golf course. All that we do with clutters and walls of trees, like behind 5, behind 9, other areas of the golf course as well, is what it does is it creates a mess. It's a pain in the butt to try to maintain the golf course, and we've definitely seen some turf conditions on greens try to take a suffer, or have suffered, particularly down on 17 and 18 with regards to absolutely no sun whatsoever, oversaturation, Sun also helps dry out the surface. So if you look at other areas on fairways, like the start of 2 fairway, that part of the fairway where this time of year is in shade all day long. If we get down rid of some of those trees in that area, around our dump site that have absolutely no impact again to the golf course in a negative way, what that does, it gets a little sunlight out there and kind of helps dry up that area to where we can mow it a little more, as well as it's obviously more playable for you guys. So in the past couple months, I have presented a PowerPoint presentation to our board, and that PowerPoint presentation will be updated here within the next couple weeks, and it will be put on our website and also emailed out to the membership. That gets a little more in depth with me measuring some sun, I kind of photo cropped a couple pictures with regards to showing what some areas of the golf course would look like without trees, and kind of gets a little more in depth with regards to why we're trying to declutter the golf course again in areas where it will not impact the playability or the overall characteristics of the golf course whatsoever. It's just trying to get rid of trees in areas that have absolutely no sense, that make no sense on this golf course, to try to improve turf conditions and improve playability. If there's any questions, please let me know. Please pull me aside out on the golf course. I'm more than willing to chat to anybody about this and try to explain kind of what we're trying to do. I think there's been a lot of stuff that's been out there that I've heard about that is completely, not going to say completely false, but maybe some stuff that is kind of not necessarily the direction that we're trying to go with this tree removal process. I understand that there are some trees cut down years ago that were not done, and with the most ethics, I guess, in mind, or having the club's best interest in mind, and maybe a lack of education, maybe a lack of resources put into the decision and the selection of specific trees. That is not going to be done here, and this is going to be done with a thorough thought process. It's going to be ran up the board for sure, and these are going to be approved and then informed to the entire membership of why we're doing what we're doing. So if you have any questions, again, let me know. I'm more than willing to talk to anybody about this. More than willing to kind of explain and try to show what we're doing. But again, you'll be seeing some more information coming shortly to try to inform everybody of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So again, thank you very much, and we'll be sending another video out shortly. Thank you.